Hi there, Andre here from Peak Motorcycles. I'm here at Motorcycle Live 2022 and I'm here at the KTM stand. Now KTM didn't come to EICMA this year, so I thought I'd give you a look around here. I think it's actually one of the biggest stands here, but they've split it up quite nicely into their different categories of bikes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and walk around and get around all the bikes. I will dwell a little bit because I know some people don't like it when I go past them too quickly, but there are a lot of them here, so please bear with me. Right, here we go. So here we are, starting off in the adventure section, and we have the 390 Adventure. Now I think these look really tidy. You know, it's definitely sort of a higher power alternative to my CRF 300 Rally. This one's tripped out with all the KTM luggage on the back. I think it's definitely sort of slightly more road focused, particularly in this variant with those cast wheels. And I know some people have had a few niggling problems with them, but having said that, I think they're definitely one of the leaders for this sort of small adventure bike sort of category. Moving on from there, very quickly you get into a 1290 Super Adventure, which is exactly the other end, a proper sort of fire-breathing, high seat monster. I know that front end isn't exactly everyone's cup of tea, but I quite like it. Then again, having said that, this is £10,000 more or less than the 390. If you haven't seen one of these up close before, there's a lot of bodywork up at the front, so not a lot to show you. There's that big old stock exhaust in there at the back. Coming up and over the seat, it's already got the rack fitted, sort of a two-level seat. Actually, no, it's two-piece seat, and then a cockpit with a ready to race on the bars and that big TFT screen, followed by the adjustable windscreen. Now on the left side, you've got all the controls for running all that technology, which look kind of fun. I'm sure you get used to it, and it's probably no different really to what I'm used to on my BMW. So next up, and I think this is probably the class leader in the middleweight adventure bike category. This is the KTM 890 Adventure. So this one's tripped out with some fog lights, lots of things from the accessory catalogue. I think that's an upgraded rear brake pedal. It's got the KTM hard luggage on it, and yeah, that's a really nicely finished adventure bike. If I was in the market for a middleweight, I think I'd probably end up gravitating towards one of these, though maybe not the standard version, because over here we actually have the Adventure R, which is, yeah, just more of everything. This one, they've got some more knobbly tyres on it. It's got that single seat that looks a little bit more rally. This one's finished in the orange, white and blue. Similar stuff with the screen up the front and the controls left and right to run all of the electronics. But yeah, I think the 890 Adventure R is probably the biggest and fastest and best of the lot in this category. You know, it's definitely a step above things like the Tenere 700, which I'm also a big fan of. But then again, it is significantly more expensive, so maybe that's even, you know, a slightly sort of that's a small mid-size bike, and this is a large mid-size. But yeah, really, really nice bikes. And from one Adventure R to another. So this one's the 1290 Adventure R. So taking what you can see over there, which was the one I looked at a moment ago, this one is, yeah, just bigger, better, more of everything. I think it's got the performance exhaust on it, comes with a few more accessories, and yeah, just an absolute beast of a thing. This one's actually got the orange crash bars fitted in there on the side, and yeah, I'll give you a look all the way around it. That one's £16,500. I'm sure that it's, well, that's a lot of bike for a reasonably high price, but I think that's still cheaper than what I paid for my GS. So maybe I should give these another look next time. Now moving on to something a little bit more toury. At this end we've got the Superduke GT, which is the same engine, the 1290, but just done a slightly more road focused version. This one's got a smaller front wheel with the road tyres. It's also got all of the KTM hard luggage on it. A friend of mine had one of these, rode it all around Europe and absolutely loved it. I mean, it's yeah, it's just a really, really, really fast bike. So on this side we've got the Dukes. This is all the nakeds. So the 390 Duke, followed by the 790 Duke. And here we have an 890, which I'll dwell on a little bit longer, just give you a proper look at the bike. Yeah, just really nice, sort of naked roadsters. And then the one at the end there is the KTM 890R, which again, this one's got a single seat. In fact, that's had the pillion pegs removed. Yeah, I think they called this the scalpel when it came out. I'm sure there's a reason for that. But yeah, they just look really nice. This one here is the 1290 Superduke R, which looks like an absolute weapon. And I would go and show you a close-up of that, but why bother when next to it we have the KTM 1290 Superduke R Evo, which I think is even better. Aha, just kidding. But yeah, they're just such a piece of engineering. Not sure I'd actually get to use one, if I'm honest. I mean, my CB1000R, I barely get to open that up. So to have something like this to go and play with, well, it's incredible. Maybe it's something that's better for me to look at than to actually purchase. So I think I'm just going to have a quick walk around the rest of the stand. So that one's really just showing off some of the power parts. In here we have some of the road bikes. So we have the RC390, which, you know, I think 400 cc's is quite a nice displacement for you know, little road bikes like this that you can actually use. I think that one there is the 125. Yeah, it's the RC125. Coming down the back here we have the 690 SMC and then the KTM 690 Enduro R. So also on here we have the KTM RC16. This is Miguel Oliveira's Tech3 KTM factory race bike. I'll give you a bit of a close look on that. That's just incredible. They've got some nice shiny carbon discs with some Brembo brakes on there. I think it's like a carbon fibre fork that I see in there. Yeah, just really sort of top-notch engineering, you know, the pinnacle of motorsport on two wheels. Yeah, just a very, very cool thing to be able to see up close. Just come back down this side and then I'll move on. So next one we have in here is the KTM RC8C. So I think this is the closest thing that you can get from KTM to a race bike that you can buy and own yourself. At least you would be able to if they hadn't sold out. As you can see, it's got all that aero at the front. It's absolutely covered in carbon fibre. So many trick bits on this bike. It does say ready to race, and you know, you looking at that, you do kind of believe it. Yeah, just really, really special, I suppose. This looks like it's like quite a steep angle. It's because the back of the bike is actually on a track stand, so it's yeah, about a foot off the ground down there. But yeah, in fact, this was a bike you could buy. They're about £35,000 if you could still get one. Right, nearly done here with KTM. So here we've got the KTM 350 SXF motocross bike, which is quite tidy. I don't know a lot about motocross bikes other than having done an experience day, which was a lot of fun. And here we have a competition bike. And then the last few, we've got a KTM 300 EXC two-stroke enduro bike, and then the very last we have the four-stroke KTM 250 EXCF. Give you a quick look around that. I think if you're into enduro bikes, you probably know more about these than me. But if you don't, or you just want to get a quick look at it, here you go. So there you go. That is my hopefully quick, but it's probably gone on way too long, wander around the KTM stand here at Motorcycle Live 2022. Hope that's been interesting and useful. If it has, please check out my other content from the show, and maybe I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.